Turn it on now. Thank you. I don't see Commissioner Barber. Kevin, we can see you. Thank you. I call this quarterly meeting of the Texas Veterans Commission to order. Mr. Secretary, do we have a quorum?
Yes, ma'am. we had. We have one comment and two observations.
Yes, please go over the comments and observations.
Okay. So the comment that we have, you may find that on page 8 of the report. As part of our line-by-line comparison of the subchapter E, chapter 434, section 434, 201 to 214, we found that the manual partially addresses sections 434, 204, 5 and 6, and 434, 211, and 213, which those items are partially addressed, and you could find those items specifically on pages 10 for 204, page 10 for 211. I'm sorry, page 10 for section 204, 5 and 6, page 10, page 12 for 434, 211, page 14 for 434, 213, and page 15 for 434, 214. They were minor items that did not align with the statutory compliance requirements, but they are further described on those pages that I mentioned. Additionally, we are presenting two observations, and the first comment was as far as its risk rating was considered low. Okay. The two observations, they are not rated. One is that there's not detailed operating procedures that include step-by-step information and instructions for all processes described. And the other item is the manual acknowledgement form. It was a form that was included in the summary, but it is not used in practice. And these comments have been provided to management, and they have responded to the comments, and those comments are found here on page 8 of the report.
And so in general, the management response is that the TVC concurs with the recommendations and will make the updates as requested.
That's correct.
Okay. Yes. Commissioners, any questions on the audit findings? Okay. Any other items to present?
No, I know we're working on another audit that we'll bringing to you for when it's complete. And then to close the year, we'll present the annual report that would be presented.
Okay, you're going to come in November then?
Yes, or sooner. But is the next meeting November?
Yes.
We'll be here in November.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. We'll see you then. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda are reports. Agenda item 5A is agency programs and division updates, and I'll call on each division director and the executive director and deputy executive director to provide updates to the commission. First will be Charlie Cato, who's going to be program operations division director.
Good morning. For the record, I'm Charlie Cato, Division Director for Program Operations. Good morning, Chair, Commissioners, Mr. Palladino. Happy to report for the departments within Program Operations. We'll start off with our Healthcare Advocacy Department. As you know, Healthcare Advocacy solves medical problems for veterans, be it enrollment or billing or anything else, but they also act as a conduit, a door to other veteran services within TVC. And to improve what they do in that realm, they've partnered with the Veterans Mental Health Department to get some more training for our healthcare advocates so that they can more easily recognize a veteran who may have suicide issues or other mental health issues. So it'll allow them to refer to the mental health department a little bit better. So it's a positive partnership between two departments. The healthcare also attended the American GI Forum National Convention. I think Mr. Palladino went to that one as well and sat on a panel for healthcare. So healthcare remains busy. Next, on the claims front, I wanted to give you kind of a status update on the focus groups that you approved to replace the advisory committee for VSOs. We've had 6 meetings across 3 districts with participation between 5 and 20 VCSOs at those meetings. We are struggling in one district, the Northwest District, with trying to get participation, and they're exploring our mentor trainer liaisons, our MTLs, are exploring other ways that we can host more and get better participation. But what issues that have come up have been very useful and have been resolved or got on a path to be resolved. So the program is working. It's spinning up still. On to employment. I wanted to introduce Katie Temez. Unfortunately, she is not here. She has a medical appointment she couldn't reschedule, but she is our new director for Veterans Employment. We're happy to have her on board. I also wanted to highlight a past event held on October 24th. It was the job fair held at Kalahari, just north here of Austin. It was a huge event. It was hosted by TVC Rural Central, and I wanted to give a shout out to our VEL, Isaac Marquez Diaz. He was the prime organizer for this thing. Initially, they had over 2,000 job seekers registered. Turned out they had about 1,253 actually attend. Of those 1,253 that attended, 436 of them were veterans, 42 were transitioning service members, and 98 of them were military family members. So a very good show. They had 120 employers at the event. 8 of those employers conducted interviews on site. They did 187 interviews, and the indications were that 61 employers said that they were going to actually hire from that event. So a really productive event. Overall feedback from the employers was that the event was exceptionally well organized and advertised. Obviously, by the participation, that worked. It was constantly busy, but not rushed. They instituted a wristband system with different colors so that the employers could recognize who they were talking with right off the bat. So veterans had a green wristband, family members had a blue wristband, that kind of thing. And that was very helpful, commented on by the employers. The employers also said that the attendees were well coached and ready with their resumes. And that reflects directly on the training that our VES folks, our VCAs, give to job seekers when they're going. There was enough space. As you know, that venue is pretty big. You haven't been there, but it wasn't crowded. And they really appreciated there was a large diversity of attendees from all different specialties that they could choose from. So very good event. Another good news from VES. Couldn't announce it last time, but VES won the Mark Sanders Exceptional Service to Veterans Award. Specifically, our West Texas district won the Mark Sanders Award. The award is presented annually at the National Association of Workforce Agencies Conference in D.C., and it recognizes exceptional service to veterans with special emphasis on those that have significant barriers to employment. So the JVSG program. The prestigious award is named in honor of Mark Sanders, who during his career in the California Employment Department and leadership within NASWA was untiring in his efforts to promote excellence in service to disabled veterans. And with that, I'm not going to cover education because David Salgado, our Director of Education, is going to come up later on the agenda to present the Excellence Awards to you. Subject to your questions, that's all I have.
Thank you, Charlie. Any questions?
I just want to comment on the West Texas VES. Congratulations on their national recognition.
Thank you, sir.
Very well done.
Next, we'll have Michelle Nall covering resource management.
Good morning, Chair Kerner, fellow commissioners. Mr. P, for the record, my name is Michelle Nall, Chief Financial Officer. I'm going to be briefing the 2025 budget revenue expenditure report through the third quarter of the fiscal year. If you turn to the document in front of you, you would see the actuals through the third quarter of expenditures are at $24,774,932. Then if you look at the bottom of the page, which is our method of finance, our funding to cover these expenditures, It's a total of 71,914,672 in actual method of finances that TVC has received. 22 million of that is a fixed amount for general revenue. Through the third quarter, we received 35,921,036 in Fund 368, which funds our FVA grants. We also receive another 68,500 from VFW with a total of 137,000 because we did not receive those funds in 24, so it was caught up from 24 into 25. Going down, our license plate revenues are at 79.89 for the quarter. The appropriation transfers 3.3, that's a fix. We received that at the beginning of the year. We'll be returning that funds back to the comptrollers in the fourth quarter. Federal funds, we've received to date 9.1 million for our veterans jobs employment program. And then 1.2 million for our education program received in federal funds to date. Therefore, for our spending compared to the method of finance, if you take all the funds as compared to expenditures, we're at 34% for the quarter. But then when you back out the Fund for Veterans Assistance, which you just awarded with no expenditures, we're at 70%. It's a little lower. In a perfect world, it would be 75, but we're still on target to spend all the funds that received for the fiscal year. Therefore, if you have any questions, we'll go on to the next page.
Commissioners, any questions? Okay. Yes, Commissioner Wright.
If I may,
Yes.
and I'm probably going to be the Marine writing in crayons. When we go to the current budget figure, we're at 67 million. But when we go to our actual figure, we're at 24 million. So can you explain why there's a huge disparity there?
Mhm.
And then
Yes.
in simple Marine terms, are we on track in doing what we need to be doing?
Yes, sir. Okay, so the current budget is based off of our legislative appropriation requests that we did for 24-25, which many, many years ago. A lot of those are estimates, except for our general revenue. Most of those are estimated figures. The Fund 368 is estimated revenues. We don't know what the lottery is going to do. Our federal grants, we're looking at, so you're looking at a time period. The current budget is from what we requested in our LAR 2 years ago for the 24-25. These are actual receipts, federal dollars received, lottery revenues received that we have received through the quarter. We're well on target. We are receiving more funds than what we projected 2 years ago, if that's making sense. Am I answering your question correctly? Okay, so we're well on target, spending, tracking for the quarter, and we already projecting what we're going to do for the end of the year. So if you have any concerns, there are none, if I'm answering your question correctly.
Follow-on question to that,
Uh-huh.
to the statement that you made,
Mm-hmm.
the RFAs that we awarded at the May meeting, we're talking third quarter fiscal year. Those don't start till the first quarter, correct? Or am I hearing that wrong?
Okay, so let me see if I can
Or
explain.
were you talking about the RFA money we did in May 2024 that we awarded for the next fiscal year?
This
the one we're
money
in?
here is for the RFA that you just, is for the funding that you just approved in May. The resources here, the funding for Fund 368.
I think she's talking about the actual expenditures.
Yes.
So
Well, the expenditures are the top portion. The actual expenditures haven't taken place because those will take place. You just awarded them. We're in the process of setting up the POs.
Right.
The program, they have to seek reimbursement.
Right.
It's a process. So you made the awards through July through August of next year. The expenditures, you may see a few expenditures in the fourth quarter report, and then you'll see
I
them
got you.
Does that make sense?
It does. I've already fast forwarded to
Yeah.
us going to the.
Yes, yes.
So
yes, sir.
David will tell you it's a Marine question.
It's very confusing, yes, but you're welcome. So I'm going to go on to the next page.
Any
which-
other
oh,
questions
I'm sorry.
on this page? Okay, let's go ahead.
Sorry. Next page is the 2025 Fund for Veterans Assistance Revenue Estimation. These are estimates now. It includes actuals and then the rest estimates for the remainder of the year. So if you look, the estimate for the annual lottery revenues from last quarter that I reported to this quarter actually went up 136 based on some actuals that we've received. The lottery unclaimed prizes also went up nearly 300,000 based off of last quarter to this quarter based on actuals that we have received. Same with other revenues, DMV, Texas Park and Wildlife, DPS, interest earned, 172,000 from last quarter to this quarter. UBs, we haven't closed out 24 yet. Those updates, we'll do that in the next quarter. De-obligations for 23 are closed. And then, as you know, general revenue is fixed, so those numbers won't change. So overall, from last quarter to this quarter, our estimated revenues went up about 590,000. So those are the revenues that we received to date and then projected to receive the rest of the year. So going down to the expenditures, their expenditures went down slightly by 21,351. Miscellaneous transfers remained as is at 2,076,292, and then the grant awards that you just awarded in May, the 46,315, and then the 3 million that is the contingency to go into the next fiscal year for the next grant cycle. Therefore, overall, when you take the estimated actual and estimated revenues for the rest of the year and reduce the expenditures in addition to the 3 million that we're going to move forward that we set aside, there's another 607,686. So when we go to close out this fiscal year in September, we will move the 3 million plus another estimated 607 for the next year grant cycle. So that concludes my brief, pending any questions on that.
Thank you, Michelle. Any questions? Okay, great job. Thank you. Next, I'll call up Deputy Executive Director Sean DeBay to give his report.
Good morning, Chairwoman, Commissioners, Mr. Palladino. For the record, my name is Sean DeBay, the Deputy Executive Director for the Texas Veterans Commission. Just got a couple of updates for you. I want to start with a quick update over the Fund for Veterans Assistance Advisory Committee. There are 4 current vacancies on this committee. We are currently running applications through the end of August. Part of this application process, we've added the conflict of interest form up front, so they see that as they're beginning to apply to be on this committee. We've also added an interview process. Before there was no interview process, we based this recommendation off of their application alone. So now we've added the interview. What we'll do is we'll get all the applications at the end of August over to the panel, which consists of the division director, the FVA director, and the FVA operations manager. They will use those and they will provide recommendations. At the November commission meeting, we will have recommendations to fill those 4 vacancies for you all to consider. Also, as a reminder, in November, we're going to invite those committee members who are leaving to come back to give them a certificate of appreciation about all the hard work that they've done on this advisory committee. Any questions about the advisory committee before I move on?
Go ahead.
Next is our structure. So I'm going to go back a little bit. So prior to 2006, this agency had 1 program, claims department, and about 85 people. From that span over until 2015, it really expanded to many different programs, well over 300, near 400 people. So we came up with a division director structure. Before that, everybody was reporting to the executive director, which got very cumbersome and not that efficient. So the division director concept was in place in 2015. Since 2015, this agency, again, has been blessed with resources from the legislature to provide great services to the veterans of Texas. So what we've decided to do was, within the division structure, to go ahead and move some things around to optimize efficiency. So some highlights. But in your folder, you should see, this starts September 1st of this year. You should see in your folder a wire diagram of what that structure will look like. Basically, TVC central administration will fall under the deputy executive director. What this means is human resource and training moves from the resource management division to the deputy. Finance also moves from the resource management division to the deputy. And then communications and outreach, IT, government relations still remain under the deputy. We also renamed the divisions to better align. So instead of having the program operations division and the resource management division, we've moved to division for veteran services and division for veterans benefits. The director for veteran services will be Chip. This will include the Women Veterans Program, which comes over from the deputy. The Fund for Veterans Assistance stays under Chip, no change. Veterans Employment Services comes over from Program Operations Division. And then Veterans Entrepreneur Department, again, no change, still falls under Chip. The other division, which is the Division of Veterans Benefits, which will be Charlie. Not much change. You'll see Claims Department, Healthcare Advocacy, and Veterans Education remains. And then the Veterans Mental Health Department comes over from Resource Management Division to fall under Charlie. We feel like this better optimizes the resources and helps with efficiency and just makes a lot of sense. So subject to your questions, that's my update and report.
Thank you, Sean. Any other questions or any questions at all? Really like the new organization. Thank you. Okay, next on the item is Executive Director Tom Palladino. I don't have Charlie. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you want me to call him up? Oh, yeah, we did talk about that, didn't we? Okay. Sean, I'm sorry, come back up. We did talk about this. Sorry about that. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot to even remember. Yes. So in the last legislative session, one of the legislative items was to move Health and Human Services into some of those programs into the Texas Veterans Commission.
Right.
Where is that going to fall in the organization?
That's going to fall under Charlie Cato, the Veterans Benefits Division for Veterans Benefits.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit, just remind us what that legislative was and what it did operationally?
Yes, Charlie.
Yeah, you want to come up, Charlie?
Yeah, is it okay? Charlie comes up and gives you a little more specifics.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good morning again. For the record, I'm Charlie Cato, and I'll put on my Division Director for Veterans Benefits hat at this point, which becomes effective on September 1st. I am here to talk about a little bit. You had some questions about the transfer of the mental health program for veterans, another acronym, from HHSC to TVC. That was part of House Bill 114. There were basically three things that we had to do when you break it all down. The first one is that it removes HHSC as a co-administrator of the mental health program for veterans. Where that is happening right now, TVC and HHSC have been working together. We're in negotiations with HHSC to transfer those programs over with possibly an interagency interagency contract. What this involves into the nitty-gritty is there are 37 contract vehicles with the local mental health departments and the local behavioral health departments and 16 grants that will transfer over to TVC effective September 1st. A little bit of paperwork there that we have to get done, so that is all taken care of. And just, I mentioned the grants. The grants will fall into the Fund for Veterans Assistance. Those won't come into mental health. The second thing that HB 114 does is it transfers the responsibility for the mental health program for veterans annual report to TVC. This is an annual report that TVC has been working with HHSC on for years. We're very, very closely coordinated on the report. All it does is change the responsibility to us to put it in rather than HHSC to submit it. That report is due on the 1st of December to the governor and to the legislature. This year's report is already well underway, and we'll collect the statistics for the end of the year to be able to put in that report, and then we will make sure that it is submitted on time. The third thing is HB 114 transfers the responsibility for the development and implementation of a long-term action plan to prevent veteran suicide from HHSC to TVC. The long-term action plan development had a due date suspense of September 1st, 2021, so that has been completed by HHSC. The implementation of that plan has a suspense of September 1st, 2027, and the mental health program will pick that up and continue on with the implementation. There should be seamless. Bottom line, the emphasis on both sides from HHSC and TVC is to ensure that there are no interruptions to veteran services, and it should be seamless to our customers. Can I answer any questions?
That's a lot of information. Thank you. Commissioner Wright?
How will this, and again, just sum this up in simple terms, how will this coordinate with the existing, so our MVPN program, our mental health advocacy? Do we see this? I think you know where I'm trying to go with that. I'm not saying it very well, but how is this going to coordinate with what we're doing now?
So that work, the peer service coordinators, the training programs and all that stuff, that work has been contracted to TVC in our Veterans Mental Health Department. So we're doing that work already. It just means that we'll continue to do that work. We also got 8 FTEs as part of that bill. So what that will allow the mental health department to do is expand where we had one person in the justice involved veterans portion. We'll be able to have a backup. We'll have 2. So that'll help us expand the program and give a little bit of flexibility. I mean, some people have to take vacation every once in a while too. So does that answer your question? I think so. The work is, we're doing the work already. This really is transferring the responsibility and the money. Always like getting the money. Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions?
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes, Commissioner Barber.
Charlie, I don't know, you probably don't have it at your fingertips right now, but when you get a chance, could you give us a synopsis and overview of who currently has those grants, when they expire, et cetera?
That's going to fall under FEA, but I'm sure we can get that to you.
Yep.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you for going over that. Appreciate it. Now on to our executive director, Tom Palladino.
Thank you, Chairwoman, Commissioners, everyone who works at TVC, and all of our veteran advocates out there. So I'll just jump on a couple updates, and I'll just start with what Charlie Cato just briefed upon, is the transfer of the mental health program for veterans from Health and Human Services Commission to TVC. So everything Charlie said was totally accurate. He's working very closely with our general counsel, Kristen Erickson, and Chip Osborne was overseeing this program prior. So they're all working collectively with the Health and Human Services Commission on figuring out the actual contracts with the local health authorities. So we're going to get that done, as Charlie said. But this is where the funding stream goes. So there's a monetary funding stream appropriation that has gone through Health and Human Services Commission down to the local health authorities, and with that money, they housed and funded a veteran peer service coordinator, and there's 66 of them now in the state. And then we've always trained them and oversaw them and certified them, but the Health HCAC funded them. So now we'll do both. We'll fund them and train and certify them and oversee them. So we'll have, it'll be more standardized across the state. I think we'll be able to give better and more expanded services. And then on the grant piece, it's called the Texas Veterans and Family Alliance grants, 16 of those. We're going to have Irv Leos and his department will oversee those, and we'll get a report, Commissioner Barber, to you and all the commissioners of the 16 ones that have it now. Those are 5-year grants. They get them every 5 years. So we'll get that all up to date. The next meeting, we'll be able to give an update on that. But I'm very excited that we have a new mental health director. She's going to start on 1 September, and her name is Brenda Kessler. So we had an extensive application interview process. She is a mental health professional in the United States Air Force. She was a lieutenant colonel in the reserves. At this time, she was active duty, and that's what she did on active duty. She ran mental health departments, and then she does it in the reserves as well. And so we're very lucky to have her, and she'll start in September. A couple other things. We're also working on other legislative matters that we're implementing. One is the veteran database. It's a veteran reference database that we're working with DIR, Department of Information Resources, on, and that was Senate Bill 1814. So that'll give us the opportunity to connect with all the separating service members from the Department of Defense and link with all the veterans who are in the DMV, contact them, and then get them referred into services that meet their needs. And also internally, it's a referral network in the agency. So it's something that we've been wanting for quite a while. We have that. We're also finalizing the Hazelwood database, and that was from the previous legislative session. So our old Hazelwood database was created in 2013. It's outdated. So we had funding from last session. So it takes a while to put these databases together. So that should be functional in October. And so we've been working with Department of Information Resources on that, and that updates that whole database. Also, Michelle Nall, our CFO, I want to give her a lot of credit, and Lawrence Cruz, her deputy, for managing the funding. And so they have managed the funding throughout the agency, seeing where we need to transfer funds from one area to another in order to ensure that everything is covered, and also to ensure that they forecast on a monthly basis with all the departments so that we don't have a surplus of funding or a shortage of funding at the end of the year. So one of the things they did is when they identified that there was some funding available we put into salaries. So our goal was, and always was, is to raise our salaries for our employees at least to the state average. So I want to report that she successfully did that in conjunction with the Human Resources Director, Tina Whitus, who's not here today. But we've done that. And so we can say as of actually we started 1 August, I think. It's already implemented, that all of our employees in the agency are now at or above the state average. And historically, they've always been below. We were one of the underpaid agencies. And so, we did get some funding the last couple sessions that helped us out with that. So I want to congratulate them, and that you've done that for our employees, because, it's being an underpaid agency, it's hard to keep the employees. They'll go somewhere else, and you have high turnover rate. Lastly is upcoming events. We're going to be doing, I think we'll talk about it in a little bit, but we're going to do the FEA grant presentations. That's coming up in September, and Cheryl is working with Joanna, in Irv, in Nietzsche. Nietzsche works for Joanna and Irv. She's our new outreach coordinator for the Fund Veteran Assistance, and so I think in September we're going to start doing those presentations around the state, and then also employer awards. So the commission last meeting in May, we awarded a bunch of employers awards for hiring veterans, and I think there's a schedule for that we can start going out there and making those awards. So, and then the job fairs will be coming up in November for the hiring Red, White, and You. And so that's another. So those are 3 big events that are coming up between now and Veterans Day. That's all I have to report. And if you have any questions.
I don't have any questions, but one, I want to congratulate staff on getting our employee salaries up to state average. That's really important. I have one thing for you. I have not brought it up before, but it's been on my mind. So every time I give a presentation, I always talk about the history of the Veterans Commission and when we started. And from my calculations, we started in 1927. And very shortly will be our 100 years as a Texas Veterans Commission. So I'd like to ask the executive director to start working with staff on what we could do for a celebration for 100.
Absolutely, Madam Chair. We already thought about some contingency plans, and so we will get those finalized and present them to the commission that we have the 100th anniversary in 2027.
Yeah, exciting. Anything else for the executive director? Okay, wonderful. Okay, we're going to move on to our considerations. First consideration item is agenda item 6A. And this is action regarding our appropriation year operating budget. I'll ask Michelle Nall, our Chief Financial Officer, to give this report.
Good morning again. For the record, Michelle Nall, Chief Financial Officer for the Texas Veterans Commission. All right, as Sean announced, the legislature blessed us this next biennium. So I am going to go through each program. I'll identify the funding and if any additional resources were provided from the legislature. So if you look at the budget, if you look at the operating budget category, you'll see our total method of finance is $87,849,622. That's approximately a 30% increase from what we requested in our LAR. So I'm going to go through each program and identify any additional resources that we received. Therefore, if you look at claims, total amount of $10,161,593. Looking at the general revenue is $10,121,644. We did get an additional $1,103,222, as mentioned in the claims. We also got an additional 9 FTEs for the claims support. When the GAA is published, you will also see that there is a rider. It's called Rider 17, Transferability of Funding. It also gave us the ability to utilize. They gave us more resources to fund not just those 9 FTEs. They gave us additional resources to provide staffing positions across TVC. And Mr. Palladino approved the transfer of funding to support 6 additional FTEs in Central. There's going to be additional support to IT, 1 FTE. There's going to be 4 to finance, and then there's going to be 1 to human resource. These are much needed positions that will help, as said, keep the engine going for TVC. So that was a very nice surprise for this session. You don't typically see that type of ability within agencies. 61,449 is the Fund for Veterans for the Paris program that resides in our claims strategy. There's the 68,500 that we receive from the BFW for claim services that we provide to them. And then there's the estimated $10,000 that we receive over the year for our license plate. So moving on to Veteran Employment Services, we requested and received $689,267 in general revenue. And then the $12,509 for our Veterans Employment Program, that is an estimate. That's not the grant award. That's just an estimate that was submitted in our LAR last summer based on actuals to date. Those numbers will go up. The grant went up. That will change. It's the general revenue amounts that remain fixed. Those don't go up. You will not see those change unless we get additional funding from the comptroller's office, which we typically don't do after the close of the fiscal year. Therefore, moving on to veterans education, we requested $748,733 in general revenue, which we received. And then if you're going down to the federal program for their education is $1.241953. That's an estimate that was done. The grant award went up this next year, so that number will change through this next fiscal year. We're looking at fiscal year 26 based off of what we requested in our LAR. So moving on to the outreach program, as mentioned, the outreach program received an additional $3,205,722 for Senate Bill 1814 for the Veteran Support Services Platform portal that will pay for implementing that portal and another additional FTE to support the implementation of that database. And we work, like as mentioned, we work with DIR to provide this, to develop this portal. It can take time. Also, we also received, you will see once the general appropriations comes out, there is another rider that states that we get to UB, it's unexpended balances. The development can take a while. It can take a while to pick up and expenditures process. So when we get to the end of next fiscal year, TVC was given the authority through Rider 15, any unexpended balances we can move forward and utilize for the same program. And we'll have that across the biennium as well. So they're projecting this could take 2-3 more years. So any unexpended funds in this year and then next year will keep moving forward until the project is complete. Moving on to Veteran Entrepreneur Program, we requested 403,864 in general revenue, which we received. Healthcare advocacy, we requested 1612345, which we received. Women veteran, we requested and received 364,134 in general revenue. Now, Veteran Mental Health Department. If you recall, the last few years, the Veteran Mental Health Department resided under the outreach. During this session, we requested it to become its own strategy. So it is now, when you look in our bill pattern, it is A18. It not only has its own strategy, it's no longer resides under the outreach strategy. In addition to it, the funding we requested, let me get to my notes. For House Bill 114, which is the funding transfer for the Health and Human Services for the Veteran Mental Health grants and contracts, they also received the 8 FTEs, an additional 883,697 to support those FTEs. So in total, the Veteran Mental Health Program got an additional 14,833,697 from last biennium to this biennium for the transfer of the Health and Human Services and then the funding support for 8 additional FTEs. Moving on to the general assistance grants strategy, we requested 1,064,862, but they awarded us an additional 1 million for the veterinary care and pet lodging grants for veterans. So we received an additional $1 million this year with the authority to transfer or UB forward any unspent funds of that million into 27 as well. So we got an additional increase of 1 million to go towards the vet care. And then if you look at the we requested 24,491,250 in appropriations for the Fund for Veterans Assistance, but that's just a number that we estimated to receive. We will receive actuals going through this next fiscal year. The GR is a fixed amount again. So we got the 1 million for the service dog program and then the 1 million for the veterinary care support. There's also 80,000 that we received in transportation grants that help support the vans that transport veterans to doctor's appointments and stuff. It's a reimbursement, so those programs will request reimbursement. We fund those. Up to 80,000 was the request for the grant. Moving on to Housing for Texas Heroes grants, we have requested and received 1,194,772 in general revenue. You'll see the 3,105,228 in Fund 368. That again, that's an estimate. We don't know what the grant awards were at the time we did the LAR. Those will change based on what you just awarded in May. And that will adjust in the first quarter when I do my report in November. On to veteran treatment courts. We requested 750 and received 750 in general revenue. That's a fixed amount. The 3,085,000 is an estimate in Fund 368. Again, those will adjust based on the actual awards that we provided from the May's meeting, and you will see that adjustment made in November once we open up the new fiscal year. Hazelwood administration requested and received 678,815 in general revenue, and then central administration received 3,738,342. We submitted an exceptional item request in this last LAR for data center resources. The IT services have substantially increased over the last few years, and it was getting challenging for TVC to cover those costs internally. So we put an exceptional item request in, and we received it. We got an additional $566,000 to cover those IT costs that have gone up the past few years. And then we also got the approval for the $1,181,000 for Fund 368 for admin support services. Therefore, again, all in all, TVC received a method of finance, general revenue, Fund 368 appropriations, federal funds of $87,849,922 from the last biennium to this biennium. That concludes my brief. Pending any questions, I know it's kind of confusing.
Just so I clarify, this is the annual budget.
This is
not the biennium
annual.
budget.
This
So
is the annual.
87 million
For
is
26.
For 26. Okay.
Correct.
Any questions? Very, very good in detail. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
We have to take a motion. Do I hear a motion to approve the appropriation year 2026 operating budget?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion passes. Next, agenda item 6B. I'll call up David Salgado, who'll be presenting 2025 Veteran Education Excellence Recognition Awards.
Let me move this down a little bit. I'm shorter than the average person. Good morning, Chairwoman Kerner, Commissioners, Mr. Palladino. For the record, my name is David Salgado. I'm the Director of Veterans Education. I'm excited to be here today to submit another year to the Commission of the Veteran Education Excellence Recognition Award. We just call it VERA because it's much easier to say. This is our 5th year that TVC has been giving out the VERA Award, so we're very excited about that. The VERA Award was established by the legislature to recognize public universities and colleges that provide excellence in education and related services which significantly contribute to the academic success of student veterans and military-connected students. Institutions of higher education are graded and evaluated on 12 criteria that highlight the various education and ancillary services offered by that institution, which contribute greatly to the overall success of veteran students and their families. Mental health services, veteran-specific policies, veteran service centers, and other education-specific resources offered by those institutions are just a few of the 12 elements scored for the award. TVC provides 3 levels of recognition: gold, silver, and bronze, to highlight the depth and breadth of services provided to veteran students and their families. We've seen a steady increase of awardees since TVC has started recognizing these schools for the excellence in supporting veterans. This year, we had 33 VERA awardees, an increase from last year where we only had 24. You should have a document in your packet showing the 33 awardees. Of those 33 awardees, 27 were awarded gold, 4 awarded silver, and 2 awarded bronze. We plan to present these awards during the year, and I'll be sure to work through my chain of command to invite you to celebrate with these institutions, as you guys have done previously. Barring any questions, I submit the VERA recommendations to the Commission for consideration.
Thank you, David. Any questions? Okay. Did you want to go through the list, or?
I mean, can if we want to go through the list.
Let's go ahead and read them just so that it's for the
I
record.
don't have the list on me. I apologize.
Okay, that's okay. We have it. I'll go ahead and read them. Just, I want to say it for the record, just so people know who won the awards, and then we'll be going around nationwide,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Or statewide. Angelo State University got gold. Austin Community College, gold. Collin College, gold. Dallas College, gold. Del Mar College, gold. El Paso Community College, gold. Lone Star College, gold. Northeast Lakeview College, gold. Northwest Vista College, gold. Palo Alto College, gold. Sam Houston State University, gold. San Antonio College, gold. South Texas College, gold. St. Philip's College, gold. Tarrant County College, gold. Texas A&M University College Station, Corpus Christi, San Antonio, and Texarkana are all gold. Texas State University, gold. Texas Tech University, gold. And Texas Tech University Health Sciences is gold. University of Houston, Clear Lake, University of North Texas, all both gold. University of Texas, Arlington, and University of Texas, Dallas, both got gold. And West Texas A&M University got gold. We have 4 that got silver, and that's San Jacinto College, Stephen F. Austin State University, Tarleton State University, and University of Texas, Tyler. And then we have 2 bronze, Lee College and Texas State Technical College. And so really happy to see that we have so many new applicants getting awards, and so many have come back and got multiple awards over the years. So
Yes, ma'am. And I think one thing to point out, especially on that list, is it's annotated on there, shows when we have a lot of people who maybe didn't do it in the previous year or previous 2 years, but are starting to come back, understanding the importance of having Vera being recognized as that institution.
yeah, I think it helped when I gave some of those presentations at one of the large education conferences, because then all the other universities can see that they can apply for those as well. So that really helped, I believe.
Yes, ma'am. And Commissioner Dale did the same at TAC VPO. So I know that it kind of was a jealousy type of issue at those things. So we really did appreciate you guys coming out to do that.
Great. I appreciate that. Thank you, David.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We're going to head and we'll go ahead and vote on this. Do I hear a motion to approve the 2025 Vera Award winners?
So move.
In a second?
Second.
I heard Commissioner Dale first. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Next agenda item is 6C, Central Texas Council of Government Vet Ride Grant Request. This agenda item is added based off of the comments from the last meeting. We thought at the time we would have to take action as a commission to address their request. I believe our executive director will give us an update because he was able to take action on his own. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the Central Texas Council of Governments, which is CTCOG, Vet Ride General Assistance Program, they asked for an amendment to extend their grant. So a little background, they were initially awarded $300,000 general assistance grant to serve 135 clients for the 2004-2005 grant year. It's a transportation grant. They take vans and they transportate them to their appointments. Provided critical support through transportation assistance in the form of monthly bus passes and point-to-point rides with their van. They have a fleet of vans to eligible veterans and their families facing financial hardship. They were not renewed because they did not meet the performance standards in May. However, as of June 30th, they actually increased their performance measures to 88%. They were at 39% at the prior to the May meeting, and that's why they weren't renewed. However, by the end of June, they were at 88%. So they put in an amendment request to extend their grant, and they still had over $200,000 of funding left because they only used $68,000 of their $300,000 grant. So they put in an amendment request to extend their grant for 14 months because this is a new, the grant period goes 14 months. So that's why initially they were going to be on the agenda. However, as the executive director in the RFA, I'm authorized to approve up to 6 months. So that's what I did. I took action. I approved their amendment request for up to 6 months with existing funding, and that'll take them to the end of December. And then we've informed them that I took this action, and they were very pleased with it. And then we informed them that if they wanted to come forth and ask for another extension, they would have to come back in November, or for more funding. They would have to come back to the commission in November. So I think that resolved the issue, and they'll be able to use existing funding, which Michelle Nall already told us that there is a $600,000 surplus from this current grant year. So they'll use the remaining funds that they were awarded, and they will serve more veterans and do good for the veterans and their families.
Thank you, Tom. Any questions? Okay, I appreciate you taking action in that and addressing their concern. We have no action here at this time, Commissioner, so we can move on to the next agenda item. Next agenda item is item 6D, which is action regarding the Fund for Veteran Assistance 2025-2026 grant renewals for the FY27 grant period. And Irv is going to come up and give us this presentation.
Thank you and good morning, Chairwoman Kerner, Commissioners, Mr. Palladino, and guests. For the record, my name is Irv Leos Jr., Fund for Veterans Assistance Director. This agenda item is presented for the Commission's consideration to remove grant renewal options from the awarded grants dated July 1st, 2025 to August 31st, 2026. The information provided for your review is in the SharePoint folder labeled D, FVA 2025-2026 Grant Renewals for FY 2027. I will be using this information for this presentation. Grants awarded for the 25-26 grant year are considered up for renewal following the grant period without having to reapply. The request for application states that an organization meeting 60% performance for the period from July 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2026, and having no unresolved compliance findings may be considered for one additional renewal. The RFA states the Commission may, in its sole discretion, exercise the option to renew the grant for an additional one-year period. The removal of the grant renewal option would allow the FVA Advisory Committee to equally evaluate the recommended grant applications based on the criteria set in the FY27 RFA. The FVA Advisory Committee can recommend applications following the guidelines set by the Commission in the upcoming FY27 RFA. This request is to remove all grant renewal options from the awarded grants with a period of performance dated July 1st, 2025 to August 31st, 2026. In addition, this allows sufficient time for the FVA department to officially notify all awarded organizations through the application process that they must apply for a new grant under the upcoming FY27 RFA grant period. FVA recommends that the Commission make a motion to remove all renewal criteria set in the RFA, thus requiring all organizations to apply for the fiscal year 27 grant. Any questions? That concludes my presentation.
Okay. Any questions, Commissioners?
No.
Okay. With that, do I hear a motion to remove all renewal criteria as stated in the 2025-2026 RFA, requiring all organizations to apply for a new grant under the FY27 RFA between October 2nd through December 2nd, 2025?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those. Commissioner Barber, did you say aye? I'm sorry.
Yes, aye.
Okay. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Thank you, Irv. And you also have the next agenda item, which is the Fund for Veteran Assistance FY27 request for application.
Yes, ma'am. The next agenda item is the fiscal year 27 request for application. The information provided for your review is in the SharePoint folder labeled E, RFA FY 2027 Request for Application, RFA. This folder contains 8 documents: the RFA, 2 annexes, 4 appendices that cover each grant program, and the summary of changes in the RFA that I will be using for this presentation. The RFA will display on the screen for your review during this presentation. The new changes, as guidance was provided in the July meeting, are highlighted in blue. I will go down page by page discussing these changes. So the first change resulting from the meeting in July is on page 4. Section 2.2, General Assistance, number 4, as requested, we added support to family and child support services. Number 6, trade skills training services, and further down you'll see trade. That was a discussion that the staff and the executives had, and we resulted that we wanted to clarify this particular service category. Organizations were providing, and the original name was skilled-based training, and organizations were providing duplicative services under that description, and they were providing a lot of resume writing, interviewing skills. The true meaning for this service category is for a trade. We want the veterans to getting trades such as truck driving, HVAC, welding, and those type of trades that are achieved under 6 months. So that's the reason we put trade in there. Continuing over to page 5, number 9, small business support services. As directed, we removed 100%, and discussion with the executives, again, and understanding what is veteran-owned, veteran-controlled. We added the veteran must own 51% or more of the business. Continuing to page 6.
Any questions? I know Commissioner Barber, you went off of mute. Is there any comment or question on that?
No, it mirrors SBA pretty closely. The only question I have is to send us a definition of what we're considering trades, please.
Yes, sir. Again, trades, there's a better definition in the program requirements for this particular case, but we list out particular trades, again, such as truck driving.
No. Yeah, no, I just want to, yeah, okay, thank you. I just want to see the definition in what we're saying.
Is that in the annex?
Ma'am, there's no definition. We better described it though, so there's no true definition.
That would be a definition. What document is that? You can give it to
that would be
Commissioner Barber?
in the appendices 1, I believe.
Okay. We don't need to go to it right now, but
We don't need, no, we don't, yeah, we don't need to go to it. Just you can just send it to us because
it's in your
trades are
folder.
expanding. So,
Kevin, it's in your folder.
okay, thank you. Okay.
Appendix what?
It's Appendix 1 to Annex B, Paragraph 6. And it talks about, it says trade skills training services.
Okay. You could look at that while we continue.
Appendix 1, Annex B.
Okay, let's continue. I think we're on 3.8.
Yes, ma'am. 3.8, as per guidance, we provided a better clarification of the monthly reporting requirements. And that was discussion with the executives and legal counsel. And we better defined and provided clarification language in paragraph 1 under 3.8 and each subparagraph. Going down to number 4 under section 3.8, again, discussion with the commission's July meeting, clarification of organizations that failed to report and stating that they will not be receiving reimbursement if they fail to report their performance. The next one is on page 9, section 3.11, the grant amendment. And number 7, we added grantees must report performance through the grant portal. As in previous years, we'd had conflict between what FEA was reporting during an amendment process and what the organization was stating. So we're stating that an organization must report their performance through the grant portal. And in number 12, we added that amendments are not appealable, and we added the administrative code on there. Section 4.2, the statutory requirements as discussed in the July meeting. We added the minimum requirements and long stated the actual statute stating how much minimum must be awarded per each grant program.
In Irv, I think in 4.1, you added the 31 million. Is that coming from Michelle's numbers?
Yes, ma'am. We clarified that. That is the current number. Yes.
Okay. I appreciate you adding the legislative code to each one of those minimums because that's good to reference. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other comments? Okay.
I'm moving to page 10, section 4.7. Again, we added that organization can have one account, but each individual in the organization that is logging into the portal must have their own login credentials. In previous versions, and we found out as organizations were sharing their password. And really what this software allows us to do is we can tell what individual is logging in and entering data and or submitting reports. Continuing to 410, maximum funding, as discussed, we added $400,000 for all grant programs. And in 411, the minimum funding increments as set at $1,000.
And this is a change because we used to have numbers for every single grant category, and now we're just saying 400 is the max across all.
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Any questions on this section? Okay.
Moving on to page 11. Section 5, application eligibility. After discussion with the commissioners in the July meeting, and this whole section was reworked, reorganized, and again, working with executives and with the general counsel, we provided clarification language. 5.2 states that TVC executive director is makes a final determination if an application is eligible. 5.3 is a notification of eligibility and states that TVC will be mailing a letter to the executive director of the organization as identified in the grant portal. 5.4 states ineligibility is non-appealable, and again, it states the administrative code. And in 5.5 is we reworked and reorganized it based off the documents you had in July, and just better clarification and reordered them so that way the organizations can see what makes an application ineligible. On page 12, continuation with the application and eligibility, we added 6, 7, and 8 clarification language. And table B, risk determination, we clarified number 1 based on the July meeting.
Any questions so far? I think you've done a great job of incorporating our comments from last meeting so far.
Yes, ma'am. All right, continuing to page 13. Section 6, application review and award process. Section 1, application review. Again, added clarification language, again, with the executives and legal counsel. Section 6.2, commission priorities and award application, added clarification language. And since the July meeting, we added number 4, recommended funding of eligible applications up to the total available funding limits as indicated in paragraph 4-1. So making sure the committee awards up to the available funding. Section 6.3, Advisory Committee, again, clarification language to better understand what the duties of the Advisory Committee are. And 6.4 is clarification language of what additional information will be provided to the Advisory Committee.
Can you continue scrolling? Because I think there's more under 6.4. Thank you. Okay. Continue.
Page 14, 6.6, application information to the commission. Again, clarified some language. The commissioners are getting the same information as provided to the committee. In addition, the first four items are additional information based off of the committee's recommendation that will be provided to the commissioners.
Any questions, commissioners? Anything missing that we didn't include?
Only going back to the ineligibility letter when they're ineligible. Are they also notified that they can reapply for the upcoming fiscal year?
Commissioner Hernandez, yes, we always encourage organizations that they can apply for the following RFA.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's continue.
Pages 15 and 16, we'll start on 15, is the application review scoring. We added some clarification language, but following some directions and guidance from the commissioners, we've rewritten some of these, combined some of these questions. We went down from 20 questions down to 14. And the scoring, as we reduce questions, we've added scoring or additional points for particular questions in case number one is now worth 15 points, and that is the top 3 needs in the region.
So just high level, 50% of the scores from what their project does.
Yes, ma'am.
30% is their budgetary requirements, and then 20% for management. That sounds about right to me. Anyone have any questions?
I like this.
Yeah. And this scorecard will be filled out by the advisory committee.
That is correct, ma'am.
Okay. And then that's it. 16 pages is the main document.
Yes, ma'am, the RFA.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions?
Just a clarification on something.
Is your mic on? Oh, yeah, it is.
On.
Okay.
Yeah, here, I'll pull it closer. On the 3.8, the monthly performance, which is, I like the wording, I just have a quick question about it. Is the intention that they report for the previous month, or just provide a monthly reporting for where they are to date?
Commissioner Dale, an organization must report every month. So they their month of performance. For example, their July report is due in August, so they're always reporting half a month late.
Okay.
But yes, but they had to report their previous month's performance and expenditures at the same time.
Okay. I just know some of the government entities had said it sometimes they can't be as accurate and up to date because of the process they have to go through to get the information from programs like the Veterans Treatment Courts and programs, you know.
Yes, ma'am. And again, that's why we allow for 15 days. And we understand and not only performance is getting data, but a lot of times, especially towards the end of the month, if they, for any grantee that pays a vendor, the vendor might, for whatever reasons, and it happens, vendors will sit on that payment and will not cash it. So thus, the organizations will not report. So thus, we can't count that person because they haven't reported, because they know they have to. They're requesting reimbursement. And I've always told organizations, it's better to, not report that one or two. You're holding off. You're waiting for $100 when you're actually pretty much able to receive, say, $10,000 worth of reimbursement. So we've kind of told them, hey, hold off on those, but submit your report.
Right. So submit what you can.
Yes.
Okay. That's all. I didn't have any other
Okay. Any other questions?
I have
Commissioner Hernandez.
I have a question.
Okay.
Up to the Commissioners' May meeting and the reporting of the grantees, how accurate is the information at the end of June based on meeting performance or being recommended not to renew?
Commissioner Hernandez, again, we're at the mercy of the organization. We've here at FVA upfront, when the grant officers review the submitted reports and reimbursements, that is how we verify who they served. Actually, we cannot verify further unless we send out a compliance team to actually look at their records on hand to ensure that they have all eligibility documents from those that served.
So the data that is reported by the May Commissioners meeting is real-time data that's been submitted by the grantees?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is real-time submitted by the grantees. And we verified, and again, we verify what they told us, and really the comparison there is what they've expended. Every dollar has to have a name to it, so that's how we verify. But we can't verify if that individual was eligible until we actually send out staff out there to look at those records.
But Commissioner, just to remind you, in the last agenda item, we removed renewals. So we wouldn't be looking at renewals. They will just go through with all the other grants and have to meet all the other grant scoring criteria. So because of one of those reasons why the accuracy.
Right. But they can be in performance recommended renewal by the end of June, correct? And not be by the May Commissioners meeting?
It could be, Commissioner, yes. It could be, based on a performance. Again, they're given additional months.
So what we voted on in the last agenda item was every grantee has to apply all over again for their grant. We will not be considering renewals. So we won't be looking at that performance data anymore because it'll be looked at with the scoring criteria that we're reviewing right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Remind me, what does our RFA and the annex say about compliance visits?
Ma'am, it states that we determine every organization must go through once awarded, we do a risk assessment of those awarded organizations, and they're rated either low risk, medium risk, or high risk. And we focus on those that are high risk, and there's a matrix, and that is the ones we go visit first. And then we're the RFA and also the tax states that we're eligible to go look at all their program information, be it paper or electronic, that we have the right to go into their documentation.
Okay, and then is there, I know we had talked about previously whether if an organization comes to request additional funding, like a funding amendment for that there should have a compliance visit done. Is that also in there?
Yes, ma'am. That is under the amendments. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, got it. Where is that located?
That is in the RFA under amendments. That is number.
Oh, right there on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yep.
311. Oh, wait, which one?
Aha, number 8.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're trying to highlight it for me, and I'm not even looking at it. The organizations must have a compliance visit with no unresolved finding within 90 days of the request. Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate that. Commissioner Barber, did you get your trade definition or clarification from the appendix that you needed? Commissioner Barber? I can't hear you. Okay, hearing nothing. I'm assuming everything is good.
Good to go. Good to go. I apologize. Yeah,
Okay,
good to go.
it's okay. Any other questions, commissioners? Okay, well, I first want to commend staff for the amazing amount of work, and the commissioners for the amount of work we put into the last meeting and the work in between to get the RFA to where it is, to address feedback that we received from grantees and, of course, from the commissioners, and just lessons learned from last year's cycle. I also want to acknowledge the legal teams a lot to help out to make sure that legally, since this is RFA, that it meets all those requirements and it has good clarifying information in there. Anyone have any other comments or questions before we go take a motion?
No, they all did a great job.
Does anyone need to look at any of the appendices
No, I already looked at them.
in the meeting? Or I know you've had the materials in advance, so. Okay, I guess with that, do I hear a motion to approve the Fund for Veteran Assistance FY 2027 request for application? Do I have a second?
Second.
Oop, let me give it to Commissioner Hernandez that time. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, everyone. I do not know of a reason to go into an executive session today. Is that correct?
That's correct, ma'am.
Okay. With that, we will need to discuss and set the time for our next quarterly commission meeting, which will be held in November. The TVC staff, it recommends it be Thursday, November 13th, 2025 at 9 a.m. at this location. Going back to Thursdays. Love it. Anyone have any concerns about Thursday, November 13th? Okay. With that, our next meeting is scheduled for November 13th. Location, George H.W. Bush Building, Boardroom 4300, which is right here in Austin, Texas at 9 a.m. So now that concludes our agenda. I will call on each commissioner for closing comments if they have any. We'll start with the vice chair. You have, Commissioner, I'm sorry. We've moved on to Commissioner Barber as the vice chair. Sorry, I can't keep up. So Commissioner Barber.
Very quickly, thank you, Madam Chair. Irv, thank you to you and your team. Great job on tackling this. Great job for pivoting when we ran into some challenges last year. And Michelle, thank you for consistently taking care of the people in the organization. It's so important. And I just want to give you a heartfelt thanks as well. Everybody stay safe.
Thanks, Commissioner Barber. Commissioner Wright.
In the wake of huge tragedies in Central Texas that have affected all of us, I would like to single out any of our employees who went above and beyond, particularly the vice chair of our FVA committee, Richard Delgado, deployed with an organization called Team Rubicon, which I'm a big fan of their work. But anybody who volunteered, thank you very much. It means a lot. And to ditto what Commissioner Barber said, Michelle, thanks a lot. I am very gratified that we're at least average, but it's better than below average. But thank you. It means a lot to our staff, and our staff has been working as much for love as it is for money, and now the money is equal to everywhere else, and hopefully we won't be losing people to other agencies. But I like the idea that we've stolen a few. It's about time we took a few back. Thank you, everyone.
Commissioner Dale?
Just when I think y'all can't do something better, you always find ways to do it. From the amount of Vera programs to redoing the organizational structure and restructuring, to being hit with new programs that and taking on new people, and you just roll with it. And it's amazing to me how you do it, and I'm very proud of you, and I'm so glad that y'all are getting raises, because it's been a long time coming. It's been earned, it's been deserved, and I know a lot of people are here because they're passionate about what we do. And so for us to be able to give you a little something back for that means a lot, and I hope it means a lot to you. And I'm so appreciative of what you do every day for our Texas veterans, and to be in a state and thankful to our legislator that keeps continuing to fund this program for almost 100 years now. That we do this, and we are just the greatest state in this nation, and the way that we support our veterans and the hearts of the people who serve on this commission as well as in this agency. And I thank you very, very much. I also just real quickly want to extend an invite to everybody. Last year, we were honored to have Chairwoman Kerner speak at the September 11th event that we do every year at Cedar Park in the Veterans Park. We do a remembrance ceremony and recognize our first responders as well as our military. You are all invited. This year, our keynote speaker will be the Executive Secretary of the Veteran Land Board, Tony Dale. We have one of our awardees that we also, as our MC, Jennifer Sanders from KXAN will be MC in the event. And she won an award recently for a story that she did on veteran programs as well. So please feel free to come out and join. It's on September 11th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. in the evening. Thanks again for all you do.
Thank you. Commissioner Hernandez.
Yes, I just want to thank all the presenters today for the programs, and thank you for updating the RFAs for the FBA, and hopefully it'll streamline some more applications and encourage more employers or organizations to apply for the FBA grants. Last week, I had the opportunity to attend one of our partners' conferences, the Workforce Solutions. They had their conference in Abilene, and they recognized the businesses for hiring our veterans from the local area and the surrounding areas. So when we work with our partners out in the field, along with the staff, we recognize what the great job they're doing for our veterans and their services. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Hernandez. Executive Director?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to thank the staff for your diligent and high-level staff work. You've done a great job in putting together different courses of action and options to solve every problem using those problem-solving skills that you've learned along the way, and especially, for this RFA preparation. Did a great job. And the budget preparation, I did a great job. So I appreciate everybody's hard work. And the commissioners for always being there, representing the agency out in, in many different events throughout the state. You're very proactive, and I appreciate that we work there at work as a team to connect our veterans and their families to the services to meet their needs. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. In closing, I just want to wish everyone happy back to school. And I hope everyone had an opportunity to take some good needed vacation time over the summer, even if it was just for a few days or a long weekend. It's always really important that you take some time and replenish, especially since we're going right into our high season. We have September, October, and November. I know it's extremely busy for staff with Veterans Day and giving our big check presentations and our Vera Awards and all of our other awards that were employment awards. This is going to be a busy season leading up to the holidays. So I hope everyone had a good opportunity and get some rest. We have some good busy, great outreach, and obviously we have the grants coming in. So we all know fall is a busy time, and you guys have prepared well. And thank you so much for the work that you've put in there. I do just want to thank everyone for always looking to see how can we do this better? How could we do it more compliant? How could we do it clearer and more efficient? And I appreciate that from everyone. And so thank you very much. And with that, I call this meeting adjourned.